Hey y'all, welcome to Wild Blue. So I've got some of my thoughts to share with y'all today on the rise of UFO sightings and their acknowledgement by the government. Is this some crazy truth? Or is there some other reason why this information is coming out at this particular point in time? Stick around, because we're going to be talking about Project Bluebeam and its part in the coming New World Order.
Aliens are among us. No doubt about it.
Hello YouTube, welcome to Wild Blue. If y'all are new here, click that like and subscribe button and that little notification bell and y'all will never miss another video again. So there's been a lot of news over the last couple of years actually about UFO sightings, and it ain't just your regular Joe Schmo out there with his bottle of moonshine here in my neck of the world seeing them. What we're seeing is credible witnesses and accompanying video footage to go along with it. So if y'all remember, it was revealed in late 2017 that the United States Navy has been encountering these UFOs or USOs, as in unidentified submersible objects, for many years, 15 years or so at least. Pilots have been seeing them perform these amazing feats, flying at thousands of miles an hour, doing all kinds of zigzags and ups and downs and turning on a dime and going in and out of the water at these incredible speeds. And you know, there's no known man-made aircraft that can do these kind of things. And although there is no evidence to support the idea that it's actually aliens or extraterrestrials piloting these things, there's definitely nothing that can rule it out either, at least according to the current news articles that are available. But I think there could actually be more to this. You know, these theories and these sightings have been going on for decades. We had Project Blue Book back in the 1950s and 60s, and the purpose of that project was to identify these sightings and try and make sense of them, identify whether or not people were just seeing something that was some kind of natural phenomenon or misidentifying some known object. And after you get through with Project Blue Book, you end up with about 5% of cases that are unexplained. But this is a bit different. The government has come out that these objects, now identified as UAPs or unidentified aerial phenomenon, have been studied by the Pentagon. These programs have been going on with support from senators such as Harry Reid and also private entities such as Robert Bigelow. They've released this footage basically backing the witnesses that have seen these things. And they're saying, hey, there's something strange going on here. So why now? What is the end game here? This is where I think there's more to it. Whether or not these are actual physical craft or they're just something else. That's what we're getting into with Project Bluebeam. So Project Bluebeam, it was first proposed in the 1990s by a guy called Sergei Monast. There's another guy working with him along the same lines studying this same kind of thing. And they came out with this theory, and you know, within a short period of time after they released their research, they were found dead of heart attacks. But they were using these theories to explain how the New World Order was going to be ushered in. And it was through Project Bluebeam, as opposed to Project Blue Book, which we discussed earlier, which was an Air Force program that was conducted under the auspices of the government. So a little more detail on Sergei Monast. He was a journalist through the 1970s into the 1990s. He published a number of conspiracy theories related to things like the protocols of the Elders of Zion. He had his own theory that was kind of modeled after that one. He discussed mind control and the New World Order, and that kind of all ties into what he developed and named as Project Bluebeam. So Sergei Monast was arrested in 1996 for what was described as involvement in networks of prohibited information. His children were taken away and sent to public schools after he'd been homeschooling them. He was left and put into a jail cell in which he promptly died a day after he was taken into custody. Whether he was killed by some psycho-telekinetic heart attack gun or whether he did just die of natural causes, there's really no way of knowing, but it is definitely suspicious. But that's a topic for another video, and we're not going to get into that today, because what we're talking about is Project Bluebeam. And so this Project Bluebeam is supposed to take place throughout 4 phases. The first of these phases will be a number of earthquakes, an overabundance of them actually, that unearth all kinds of these archaeological findings that basically turn our understanding of the histories and the religions of the world on its head. So we'd be hearing this information that was basically saying that all these religions are false, and there's one true religion that's based on these new findings they've had, and these are supposed to replace the religion of the world and become the religion of the New World Order under the Antichrist. And so I don't know that this has happened yet. You know, we've had some other things that I think have kind of fulfilled what's being discussed during this phase 1 here, and that's been with the COVID pandemic. So with the pandemic, people have basically been united under this sort of medical religion with the mask wearing and the following these messianic figures that are in the political realm. And again, you could do a whole nother video about that topic, and we're not going to get into it on this one because we're talking about this particular Project Bluebeam and how it relates to UFOs. And that's where we get into phase 2 of Project Bluebeam, which is known as the big space show in the sky. So this is basically this holographic images of these UFOs and the like projected onto the atmosphere. And that could be what we're seeing in these videos that have been released by the government. It may not be real UFOs at all. It could be just these holographic projections that are supposed to distract us and lead us to believe that there's these aliens out here when they're really not. So with this phase 2, another part of it is you're hearing these languages, basically the space gods speaking to these people. They're speaking in all different languages so everyone can understand, and it kind of brings everyone together, while in reality it's just a few nerds sitting behind a computer doing the whole Wizard of Oz thing with the man behind the curtain gag. You know, they're hearing these voices, but it ain't nothing like that at all. And if you're smart, you won't fall for it. So anyway, seeing as we're in the early stages of what may be this phase 2, now with the acknowledgement of these UFO sightings, next will be the voices. Now, I don't know how it's going to occur, but I do think it is a somewhat plausible theory. Either that or just a distraction from the current events going on in the world, which are also probably working towards establishing this new world order. By inundating our news feeds with these UFOs that may or may not be real, they're distracting from other events going on in the world that could be receiving this important coverage that would alert us to what's going on behind the scenes. So anyway, that's just the second step. You know, there's 2 more, the third and the fourth, that we're going to go on into, because it'll be nice to know what's coming our way if in fact this is for real. So step 3 involves the mind control. They're basically going to use these voices. They're going to telepathically input these voices into the heads of every person on Earth, basically giving everyone their own God within their heads, their own Messiah, telling them what to do. And through this, they're going to basically control people and bring everyone under this unified religion, under the New World Order. And you know, I don't think we have the capability to do that yet, and there may be some sort of early stages of telepathic communication available. What I think is more likely is that we're going to have the news and the entertainment industry and the media, they're all going to be working together to subliminally subvert the current values of the world and basically bring everyone under this sort of new world order idealism and this humanism. And that's what's going to be phase 3 of this Project Bluebeam. And it'll basically achieve the same final goal as it would be if you were actually using some sort of real mind control. And the final step of Project Bluebeam, if you're reading Sergei Monast's original book about it, in which he states NASA is the one that's kind of behind this, is that you're going to see alien invasions taking place in every major city on Earth. But it'll just be projections, kind of like we see in phase 2 of Project Bluebeam and what we may be seeing now with this released footage. And they will use our electronic infrastructure and hologram technology to basically put these satanic ghosts into the homes of every person on Earth. And they're basically going to be bringing this sort of hysteria out that'll cause everyone to kind of come together. And all the Christians in the world are going to be led to believe that the rapture is taking place through this same sort of holographic technology. This will also be used to bring in this digital currency, basically doing away with the whole cash system, and it'll allow the government to control every aspect of what's going on in the financial industries, down to the own personal level of what you own in your pockets. Because you won't have no money in your pockets, you'll just have cards, and the government's going to control those cards, and they'll be able to turn them off whether or not they disagree with what you're saying. And so all the dissidents are going to end up starving because they don't fall in line. And that's kind of what's headed our way with this New World Order. And you can already see some of these things taking place with what's known as ID 2020 and also some of the stuff MasterCard's doing in Africa, test running their own sort of digital identities that'll sort of replace the current analog identities and cash system we have now. So that's about it for Project Bluebeam. If y'all want to learn more about it, go read Sarah J's book. Some of it's pretty far-fetched. Some of it is already taking place, I do believe, and you know, we've got the first phase that's probably going on of bringing in the New World Order with the COVID pandemic, and we're seeing these UFO sightings now. And what's left to come, we can kind of see as well. You know, you got the third and fourth steps of this, and whether or not that'll actually happen, I don't know. It may go more the route of what we already know with things like Agenda 21, which has become Agenda 2030, which is basically saying that everyone's going to be happy not owning anything, and they're all going to be under control of these despotic, tyrannical government that's going to be controlling the whole world. And unless there's something that can come up that can stop this, that's probably what we're looking at. But again, these are topics that could be discussed in a whole nother video. But as far as Project Bluebeam goes, that's it for this video. So with that, like and subscribe if you like the video. We're gonna be bringing you more of this stuff. Check out our Facebook page and check out our website. And with that said, Wild Blue out.